football world is in shock today as we wake up to the tragic news of the passing of legendary goalkeeper Alex Manninger. The former Arsenal and Juventus star was killed in a heartbreaking accident after his car was struck by a train in his native Austria at just 48 years old. We are honoring the life of the trailblazing keeper who spent years between the sticks for Europe's elite clubs and earned 33 caps for the Austrian national team.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Turning our attention to Italy, the future of Dusan Vlahovic at Juventus has suddenly been thrown into total chaos. We have learned that the club has completely shelved all contract extension talks with their star striker until the current season concludes. This leaves the Serbian forward in a massive state of uncertainty, with his contract status hanging in the balance as the Bianconeri wait to see if they secure Champions League football. Meanwhile, the summer transfer rumor mill is already heating up around a Juventus attacker who finds himself on the outs. Leeds United is reportedly keeping a close eye on Lois Openda as they weigh a potential move for the striker who has struggled to find his footing under Luciano Spalletti. We are breaking down why the Belgian international's high-profile move to Turin has gone sideways, and why a jump to the Premier League might be his next lifeline. As we continue to follow the investigation into the fatal collision involving Alex Manninger, the sporting world continues to pour out tributes for a man who inspired a generation of goalkeepers. We will keep you updated on the latest developments across the pitch. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss an update on these breaking stories. It is a somber day for the football world as we mourn the tragic passing of former Arsenal and Juventus goalkeeper Alex Manninger, who has died at the age of 48 following a horrific level-crossing collision. To lose a talent of his caliber so prematurely is a devastating reminder of how fragile life truly is. Manninger's journey began in 1995 with SV Salzburg, but he truly cemented his name in history when he made the leap to England in 1997. Joining Arsenal to provide cover for the legendary David Seaman, he didn't just fill a spot on the bench. He showed real grit, racking up 64 appearances for the Gunners. It takes a special kind of professional to handle that kind of pressure, yet Manninger did it with a quiet, steely composure. After his Premier League stint, he carved out a fascinating career across Italy, spending 4 impactful seasons at Juventus, followed by a solid tenure at FC Augsburg. Even in the twilight of his career, he remained a respected figure, signing with Liverpool for the 2016-17 season before finally hanging up his gloves. Beyond the club level, he was a servant to his country, earning 33 caps for Austria and remaining a constant professional until his international retirement in 2009. The Austrian Football Association rightly called him an outstanding ambassador for the sport, noting that his reliability and composure made him an integral part of every locker room he walked into. As we reflect on his legacy, it is clear that he was more than just a shot stopper. He was a consummate professional whose influence spanned decades of top-tier football. If you appreciate the unsung heroes of the game who brought stability and class to the pitch, please drop a rest in peace in the comments below. It is often the steady hands like Manninger's that keep the dream alive for everyone else on the field. Remember those headlines about Juventus and Dusan Vlahovic nearing a handshake deal? Well, you might want to hit the pause button on that optimism. We went from whispers of a springtime agreement to a complete, dead-stop silence in negotiations. According to the latest intel from La Gazzetta dello Sport, Juventus has officially shelved all contract talks until the final whistle blows on this season. And honestly, that makes the next 75 days incredibly nerve-wracking for the Juve faithful. Think about it. We are looking at the end of the campaign without knowing if the Bianconeri star striker will even be in the squad next year. The subtext here is glaring. Everything seems to be tied to one massive question: Champions League qualification. CEO Damian Kamali basically confirmed the freeze, telling the press not to expect any updates until the season wraps up. But here is where it gets tricky. Juve reportedly wants Vlahovic to slash his massive Euros 12 million salary in half. Now, ask yourself, would you be quick to sign a deal that cuts your paycheck by 50%? Probably not. The The club is playing a high-stakes game of chicken, but while they wait, the door is creaking open for rivals. There is growing talk that AC Milan could swoop in as a legitimate destination if this stalemate drags on. It would be a massive power play for the Rossoneri, assuming they can clear the deck to make room for him. So, are we witnessing a calculated strategy or a slow-motion breakup? It is a gamble that could define the next era of Juventus football. What do you think? Is Vlahovic going to take the pay cut to stay, or are his days in Turin numbered? Drop a comment below and let's get into the debate. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the twists in this transfer saga. In football, as in life, sometimes the most important decisions are the ones we wait the longest to make. Have you ever seen a transfer move go from a desperate deadline day fix to an absolute nightmare in just one season? That is the current reality for Juventus and their expensive striker, Lois Openda. What started as a frantic attempt to land a replacement has turned into a massive financial headache for the club, and now, a surprising lifeline might be emerging from England. Leeds United is reportedly keeping a close eye on the Belgian international, who has struggled to make any real impact in Turin. Since arriving on that high-stakes loan deal, Openda has only managed 2 goals in 36 appearances, a stat line that is frankly painful for a striker of his price tag. It is easy to see why Luciano Spalletti has essentially moved on, leaving Juventus with a player who doesn't fit their vision and a transfer valuation that makes a permanent sale look like a pipe dream. This is where things get interesting for Leeds. If the Whites can secure their Premier League status and avoid the drop to the Championship, they might just be the perfect landing spot for a player who, despite his struggles in Italy, possesses the raw, blistering pace that usually translates much better to the English game. Of course, Leeds isn't alone in this conversation, with Bournemouth also hovering in the background as they weigh their own managerial changes. It is a classic buy low scenario for a team willing to bet that a change of scenery is exactly what this young striker needs to reignite his career. Do you think Openda has what it takes to thrive in the Premier League, or is he just destined to be another expensive gamble that didn't pay off? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest transfer rumors. Sometimes, a player is just one move away from proving everyone wrong. In a truly heartbreaking turn of events, the football world is in mourning today following the tragic passing of Alex Manninger. The former Arsenal and Juventus goalkeeper, a trailblazer who famously became the first Austrian to grace the English Premier League, has died at just 48 years old. According to reports from Austria, Manninger was involved in a horrific collision on Thursday morning when his car was struck by a train at a crossing in the northern part of the country. While authorities were initially cautious, local broadcasters quickly confirmed the identity of the victim, and the outpouring of grief from the sporting community has been immediate and profound. It is a sobering reminder of how quickly life can change, and our thoughts are firmly with his family during this unimaginably difficult time. Manninger was more than just a player. He was a pioneer. With 33 caps for the Austrian national team and a career that spanned elite leagues across Europe, he set a standard for professionalism that many young keepers still strive to emulate today. Peter Schürrle, the sporting director of the Austrian Football Association, hit the nail on the head when he described Manninger as an outstanding ambassador for the game. He was known for his calm, reliable presence between the posts and a work ethic that earned him immense respect from teammates and rivals alike. As investigators work to determine exactly what went wrong at that rail crossing, the legacy Manninger leaves behind is already cemented in the history books of European football. He paved the way for future generations of Austrian talent, proving that grit and composure can take you to the very top of the world stage. If you appreciate the mark players like Manninger left on the beautiful game, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on the stories that matter. It is a tragedy to lose a figure who contributed so much to the sport, but his influence on the goalkeepers of tomorrow ensures that he will never be truly forgotten.